Hello and welcome to episode, I think it should be 7 of when this goes out, of the Football Commentaries Podcast. This is a special episode on a Sunday, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. We've got a bit of a special episode, and with just Kenzie this time, no Harvey or Ben, because we're going to do a special episode on Scottish football, kind of highlighting Celtic, Rangers, their rivalry. Who's got a brighter future, all that kind of stuff. So if you're into Scottish football and you want to say, just drop it in the comments, and I'll definitely read them. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. Kenzie, you support Rangers at the minute. How do you think it's going for Rangers before this lockdown? Because I know they weren't in the greatest of form before this.
Well, everyone knows in Scotland, after the winter break, Rangers just don't perform as good as before. So we get results like the last 2 seasons we beat Celtic at home 1-0 and beat them away 2-1, and then after the winter break we come back and lost I think we only picked up 3 points out or 4 points out of 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, that's a worry for any team when you're getting that kind of form. But for Rangers, and after chasing Celtic down for the whole season and really, wanting to get one over them in terms of winning a league title, that form isn't always great. To be fair, I feel like the Europa League was a really good distraction during that kind of time when you did play Braga and got through. I thought that was seriously impressive, especially to go away to Braga and keep a clean sheet, defend the way he did, and nick a winner as well, even though it wasn't needed. I think that was a really good performance, and I think Rangers will start picking up a few more points now, but that didn't really happen. I think you lost to, was it bottom of the league? I think.
Yeah, we got beat 2-1. I think to Hearts away.
And didn't you get a poor loss in a cup or something like that? I think I'm not too sure.
I'm not quite sure.
I know you lost 1-0 at home, I think it was.
Oh yeah, was that Motherwell?
I think it was. It was someone, and I know they weren't great, and everyone's like, "What's going on here?" Because
it might have Hamilton.
I think it was. I think it was Hamilton. I think I remember having a look. But I just because obviously as I'm just only getting into it, and I'm watching Rangers play, and I'm like. Obviously, it's nowhere near the standard of the Premier League, but there's some good players in Scottish football and for Rangers and for Celtic. Like Kent, for example. I know he came from Liverpool. I think he really shines in that Rangers team when he wants to play well. And I know you're a big fan of Hadji as well. For Rangers. If people don't know who Hadji is, who plays for Rangers, how would you kind of describe him as a player?
Creative.
Winger, I think he is, isn't he?
No, he's he could probably play winger, yeah, but I feel like he's of a calm.
Yeah, because I've seen him on the right. When when you played Braga at home, I think it was. He came on. I think he's played the whole game, but he was on the right hand side, and I think he's left footed, isn't he? So
yeah, I think so.
So that left foot was dangerous. Obviously, that free kick that took a deflection, but it doesn't really matter. And then the first goal, I think he got as well.
Yeah.
But that Hadji, I was really impressed with him because he does have that kind of quality of a Premier League player, which
he's only young.
That's the other thing, how young he is as well, and
the
amount of confidence he has and kind of self belief that he does have the ability. So Hadji's a fantastic player. Going on to I'm going to go to Celtic really quickly. Obviously, they have loads of good players, and I'm going to ask you a question. I know the answer to it, but that's what I think this guy's so good. I kind of want to talk about him a little bit. If you could take one player from Celtic and put it in the Rangers team and have them, who would you choose?
As a fan, I won't put any Celtic into the Rangers team.
Obviously, but if you could just take one and they're yours, the Rangers, who would you go?
Probably
the best player, Edouard. Yeah, I thought you were going to say it. Obviously, he's got an incredible record for Celtic. What is it about him that makes him so good? I know it's only the Scottish League, you can say.
I think
he's incredible when I've seen him play.
The physical side of him, he's got a really decent physical side to him for a striker. He's very agile and he just knows where the net is.
Well, yeah, he definitely does know where the net is. In the league, 27 appearances, 22 goals. The next best after that is actually Jermaine Defoe with 13. So that really does show his quality. I think 22 goals in 20. That means only, if you look at it like that, it's like 5 games that he's not scored in. If you kind of look at it like that, that's an incredible record.
At an average.
In the Premier League, what kind of level team do you think Edouard's good enough to play at? If you were to compare it to the Premier, because obviously we'll have quite a few Premier League fans watching, and if they don't really know much about him, like what kind of team?
Probably like a Leicester, like a Wolves.
Maybe just like a top 6 side, kind of like 6th, 7th Europa League.
Yeah.
Going into the Champions League kind of side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember watching him. I think it was against Copenhagen in their first leg that they drew, and then they lost the second one. That first one, like he scored like quite quickly, I think, or like in the first half, and I thought this guy's pace and power and his shooting, just everything about him. I thought this guy's got something like really special. And I thought, why is he at Celtic in a respectful way? I was kind of like, he does come across as a player who should be in maybe the top leagues more than the Scottish Premier League, personally.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, he's French, isn't he, Edouard?
Yeah.
Any chance of him maybe getting into a French team at any point? Like maybe just obviously not starting, but I mean like even just to get a call up.
Possibly. It just depends on injuries, doesn't it? Like if there's an injury to a striker, possibly. But like with no injury, maybe. Yeah, I don't think he would start. Not a chance.
No, I don't think he'd start. No.
Because Mbappe's just Mbappe.
Yeah, no, yeah. And then you got like I don't even know. There's just so many French strikers. You got like the Ben Yedders, Giroud, Benzema. I don't know if he still plays for France anymore after what happened. But they've got him. But there's always a chance. Always, like you said, injuries
like
is a friendly match. Yeah, exactly. Just to test him out, and I think he deserves it off the form that he's been off this season.
Yeah, but I feel like no one's getting picked up because they're in the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, like no one's like willing to take the risk in a kind of way. It's like
that's what I mean. No one's rating him because he's in the Scottish Premiership, and it's physical. It's a really physical league.
Yeah,
it's not as easy as people
100%.
think. Yeah. It's not as easy as people think.
Yeah, 100%. That's the first thing I kind of saw when I watched one of the Scottish League games. I think one of the first ones I watched was like a Celtic Rangers, and I thought, God, they don't mind a tackle. They don't mind a good push and shove. So to play in the Scottish Premier, you do need that. Not even just like physical strength. I think you need like the mental strength as well. To kind of know that you're gonna get a few kicks and a few tough challenges, especially when you got like Scott Brown in that Celtic midfield, because he's a dangerous player. He doesn't mind a tackle, Scott Brown. But you kind of need a player like that in your team to be kind of like that tough player. So yeah, we'll just kind of go back to Rangers again, just very quickly. Sorry. I think Rangers' best player is Morelos. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Like on form recently, no, but
in terms of overall, like on paper, if you
overall, like the goals he scored, the important goals he scored, yeah, probably.
Because he's this is how I see him anyway. He's kind of like a hit and miss player.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, when you get the best out of him, he is seriously good. But like when he isn't on it, it's kind of like, oh, this guy isn't as good as what he should be. That's what I see anyway.
The case with him, he's a nut job.
Yeah, the red cards are ridiculous.
If he has a frustrating game, he's getting sent off.
Yeah, and that's a massive liability. It's like everyone has bad games. And the fact that he seems to think taking it out by getting a red helps, I just don't understand that personally.
Like for example, when we were beating Celtic 2-1, it was like the last minute.
Yeah.
And he dived. What is the point?
Yeah, because
shoot. Yeah. He was still on goal. Like he could have just shot. If he missed, he missed.
Yeah, no,
But why?
I remember.
Why would you get yourself sent off?
Yeah, because I remember looking at Gerrard's best games as Rangers manager, which we'll go on to Gerrard later on. And I did highlight that Celtic win. I mean, that Rangers win away 2-1, where he did get sent off. And I was like, you've got the game won. It's like a kind of a historic win. You've beat Celtic at home. Everyone's happy. And then he goes into something stupid like that to kind of ruin it. It's like to try and make it about him in a way, which I don't think he had to do to make it about him anyway. But it's like that's what he felt like he had to do.
The thing is with Morelos is he's frustrated because every time he plays them, he cannot score.
Yeah, that's what I've seen as well.
In that game, he had 2 or 3 big chances where we should have finished them. On another day, probably would have finished them, but he just gets frustrated easily against them because he knows how much that means to the fans.
Yeah, which is kind of a good thing in a way that he understands the emotion. But if you can't control that emotion, and that leads to you not performing well, that's where it kind of collides and becomes a problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, because I was watching the highlight about a month or 2 ago. The Scottish Cup final when you played Rangers, and I've never seen a striker have so many chances in my life ever. It's like every highlight was Morelos every time. If it was a shot, cross, dribble, he had so many, and he missed a penalty in that game as well. I feel like that was a real chance for him to put his mark down in that fixture, win Rangers a cup against Celtic and score.
So I was watching that game with my dad, and as soon as he stepped up, I was like, "Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
I'm not. It's too much of a big occasion. Like you can say, oh, Europa League, but that's a derby. That's one of the oldest derbies in history.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a massive fixture for both sets of fans.
Exactly, and it's not even like with a league game you can say, oh, it's only 3 points, but in a cup final, when that means everything. I just remember watching that and going, oh my days, Celtic are going to win this. And they don't deserve it at all.
I remember that game. Like Rangers battered them all through the game.
Yeah,
played them off
the highlights.
And then I know apparently it was a bit offside, but so what?
Yeah, that happens, doesn't it?
That's what I mean.
Refs are human.
You should not be having that many chances, not scoring one, being professionals, and then conceding like that. That should not happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, how did Celtic actually win that? I was just like, obviously, I know Forster had one of the games of his life because he did make some really impressive saves.
He made really good saves. Ryan Jack had a couple and top corners, and he just pulled the saves out of nowhere. You're like, what?
But I feel like I didn't watch the game live, but I feel like, as like you said with that penalty, do you feel like if that penalty had gone in, you probably would have won that? Or with Celtic,
yeah,
is there always a feeling though against Celtic like, oh no, they could score at any time?
Yeah, because they're just it's just the counter attack that they're really fast on the counter.
Yeah, like Edouard, Forrest. I know he's got a bit of pace to him.
I don't know. It's just hard to put out.
Because it's like I was frustrated for Rangers, and I don't even support them. I was just like, how have they actually not? Because I know how much that game means to fans, and I was like, I know you don't get big wins against them often in terms of meaning. Obviously, they all mean, they're all massive fixtures, but I mean in terms of a cup. I was like, you've battered them here, and then you get it just robbed from you. It felt like it felt like it was just robbed.
Yeah, well, a couple of seasons back when we weren't as good as now, we actually beat them in the semi-final on penalties, and that was a massive win. But then in the final, we went and got beat by Hibs.
And
I was like, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like you've jumped the biggest hurdle, and then you just fall
at
the
the
last.
Yeah.
And that would be very frustrating because obviously there was a time at Rangers where I'm not going to get into it, but things happened. You weren't relegated to the 4th division or something, the 3rd division,
Yeah, administration.
Which thankfully you've I think you did back to back promotions. I think from what I researched, or you got back to the Premier League of the Scottish football very quickly.
Yeah,
Which is
it
obviously
was
a good thing.
within 4 years, I think.
Yeah, which is obviously exactly what the fans and the players and everyone involved with Rangers wanted, because administration isn't the prettiest thing to go through. So, but I feel like the rise has been, from where you were to now. I feel like that's I think as a Ranger fan, you should be quite proud of what your team's kind of built within such a short time.
Feel like
from where you were, like rock bottom.
Yeah, but I feel like the fans don't feel as proud because.
So it should be there anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if it weren't for the person who ran away with the money, if it weren't for him, we'd still be there anyway. So.
Alright, so it's kind of it's not even like it's kind of you've been knocked down, but you haven't like risen from it. It's like you got back to where you were. And I feel like it's just taking that extra leap to try and get to the top.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be more. I feel like we'll be more proud when we've won the league and we've come from the bottom to win the league.
100%. Yeah, that makes more sense. Actually, achieving something to go. Well, we have actually got through this and we've beaten the situation. And
that's
we've
what
got
I mean.
Something to show for it.
That's what I mean. It just feels like we've been knocked down. We've been cheated out of this. Now we come back and we've won this, and this is what we've got.
Yeah, and I feel like if you kind of if you won that cup, I feel like that was just the first step to that. Kind of like, we've won this cup. If we could go one more and win the title, the Premiership, that'll really finish it off.
Yeah.
But do you feel like after that cup final, that was a little bit of a setback at all?
No, not really, because the cup final was. Wait, when was the cup final?
I think it was January, February time. I'm not sure. I'll have a look now.
No, it was definitely before December because
we played. But I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure we played them in December and we beat.
You'll know more than me.
Before
that. 8th of December.
So it was in that month.
Mm-hmm. It was 8th of December. So.
But I wouldn't think so because obviously we've lost that game, and then we bounced back and beat them away.
Yeah.
Like their ground.
Because a defeat like that can set you back, which isn't great. But the fact that you didn't let that affect you, I think, obviously that kind of shows the character the team's got, and I feel like that's kind of the character that I think Gerrard shows when I see him. Like on the touchline, I see him in interviews. He's got that character and the mentality of, you know what, even if we do get a setback, I'm not going to let it affect the players. Myself.
We go again,
and then we go again, move on to the next one. And I feel like that's something kind of Gerrard's bought in a way, kind of like that, not like we've lost, okay, on to the next one kind of thing. It's kind of like, yeah, we lost, we know where we've gone wrong, and we're gonna show that we've moved on.
Yeah, well, that's like a prime example of what we were going on about 2 episodes when Gerrard brought that team back in Istanbul. That's just like, exactly. We're 3-0 down, we go again.
Yeah, kind of like he's brought what he learned as a captain and as a player to his management, which is obviously a great attribute to have, because especially when you're down, you need to be able to give those team talks, those mentions to players to really get them going. And obviously being captain to one of the biggest clubs in the world at the time he was captain, and obviously they've kind of gone back to how big they were now. I think that's really helped him in his management.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be at Rangers for long or much longer? Do you think he'll get that big break? Like the Liverpool job, and Klopp, obviously he'll move on at some point. Do you think he'll be at Rangers for a while still?
I feel like he's still got another 2-3 years left.
Because obviously we've got like Frank Lampard, don't we, at Chelsea? We have all these players coming in, managing their boiled teams, or the team they were at for ages. So obviously that's Gerrard's dream job, obviously Liverpool, and I think Rangers fans and everyone knew that Rangers was going to be kind of a stepping stone for him.
Yeah,
which you got to respect, because
we're expecting it. Because
obviously it was his first job. You all know the main goal of his, because he's at Liverpool for his whole career. But I kind of like still, even though he's using it as like a stepping stone, he's still giving absolutely everything to show. He's not like, because I'm Gerrard and know I'll get the Liverpool job at some point. He's still trying to prove himself and go, you know what? I'm actually going to earn this management and not just because I'm Gerrard, I'll get it anyway. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel like he's determined to win it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like he'll give up. I think he's like, I know I just said a minute ago, like 2 or 3 years and he'll be gone, but he may even stay after that just to like win us the league, because that's all he wants to do.
Yeah, because he's got so like glued into it. He's got such a feeling for it, and he knows how much it means, and he knows how devastating it is when you just can't get there. I think for him to kind of leave Rangers with that, like, I went there, I did what I had to do, I did what I wanted to, and I've brought the fans like one of the best moments and they've had in a long time. I feel like that is kind of a big factor for him. I feel like he will want to do that. So until the right job comes, in terms of maybe the Liverpool job or maybe a Premier League job, I don't think he'll move unless anything goes wrong. Where he just has a bad spell at Rangers, or a bad season. I think he'll stay as well, because again, it's like it's in the UK. He's not like abroad or anything. He seems happy there. He seems to be doing well there as well. Like the Europa League, I think he did amazing to get through. That Braga game, being 2-0 down at home, I thought that was amazing. So no, Gerrard, I think he'll stay. In terms of Gerrard, like, what is it about him that makes him not so good, but like a good manager? Is there anything that you've seen him that you go, oh, that's Gerrard's best attribute as a manager?
Probably just his passion.
The passion, yeah, because that's what you need, and it seems like he brings that.
Yeah, he does. Like, if you watch that game, Celtic Park, when we beat him 2-1, like his passion when the camera went to his face, the passion, you could just feel it.
Yeah, I literally just remembered that, and I remember seeing that on Instagram when I was scrolling through, and like the passion shown, it was like he'd been at Rangers for his whole career. That's kind of what it felt like to me. It's like he'd been there forever.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling, which is obviously everything you want in a manager.
Yeah.
So
definitely,
massive respect for Gerrard as well, to come in as his first proper managerial job. That is a big club to walk into.
Yeah, massive.
It's your first job.
Yeah.
I think like it's not, obviously he did like Liverpool under, I think, 18s or something, but to come in to a big club like Rangers, who've got expectations, who've got high expectations to do well, to come in, set his stall, sign some fantastic players, and to not just do well with the club steadily, like to go that next level, which I think he's really taking you towards.
Yeah,
I think that's a big respect to Gerrard and what he's done.
Yeah.
If so, and when do you think Rangers might be able to start overtaking Celtic again? Is that going to be soon? Is that still a kind of a long process? Because obviously Celtic have won the Premiership 8 times in a row. Now, do you think at any point the tables are going to turn again, and Rangers are going to be like the biggest club in Scotland, if you know what I mean, in terms of winning things?
Well, I think all Rangers need is consistency. If we get that consistent, like, we can, like, we'd be able to win the league, because like Celtic drop points. Celtic have dropped points this season to like teams like Livingston.
Yeah.
So I think we play each other 3 times or 4 times maybe.
I think it's 3. No, I think it's 4, because doesn't the table get split in half, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you play them once again. So more than likely you'll be in the same half as Celtic. So I think it's 4, because there's 38 games in the season. So you play everyone 3 times. So that gets to 33 games. Split the table, play them once more, and then that's it.
Yeah. So I feel like this season, obviously, like Celtic were 10 points ahead. I feel like Rangers still had a game in hand, and we had to play them twice. So that goes straight down. If we win both of them games against them and the game in hand, that goes straight down to 9.
Yeah.
Like, that's 9 points took off him. I mean, so that's 1 point. So that league was still winnable, but we that was a big ask.
Oh yeah, Huge
That's
ask.
a massive ask.
Because
So I just feel like next year it all depends really how we start the season.
yeah, starting the season would be massive. I feel like go on, you go first.
Because it almost seems like after the winter break, we set back and they push on.
Yeah, which must be frustrating.
Yeah, it is like to watch because, like, for the fans, we know how good we can be, and if the players are not showing it, then like it's almost like why are we even wasting our time?
Yeah, because
It's like a repetitive thing. Like it happens every season.
also it's kind of like expected as well, which kind of makes it worse.
Yeah, because all the fans are like this is a winter break now. After this winter break, we don't know what's going to happen.
Is there ever a feeling with this winter break between the fans where we go, oh, this is the time where we're going to stop this inconsistency after the winter break, or is it always a kind of like a doom and gloom sort of like, oh god, here we go, winter break?
Well, we haven't been shown like the side of Rangers where, and like in the recent years, obviously we haven't been shown the side of Rangers like come back from the winter break and do well.
Right,
But
so,
we don't actually know yet.
So you're not even being shown it once yet, so you can't really go.
Well, obviously we've been shown it in the past, like in terms of like chasing Celtic now. We haven't been shown it yet. Like we've always had slow starts.
And that's the worst part, slow starts, because then you're always chasing.
Yeah,
that's the worst part.
It feels like we've got to climb back up the table again, and it's not them doing it. It's not like they're they're the ones pressured, obviously, but it's almost like we fear the pressure more than them.
Yeah, it's almost like you've got more pressure because you've got to get the 3 points.
Yeah.
But with them, it's kind of like, yeah, we need to get 3 points, but say if we drop one, then it's not the end of the world.
Because Rangers can drop more.
Yeah, but it's because Celtic will look at it and go, right, we're 6 points ahead, say, at some point in the season, just for example. They'll go, right, even if we drop, you say if we lose more games this season, they'll go, well, yeah, we'll lose 3 games, but Rangers will surely lose 2 or 3 as well. So that's always the problem with chasing.
That's what I think we need to do, though. Like we need to show them that we're not going to drop points. We are going to win the league, because if that happens, then that fears them.
It kind of puts a message out as well.
That's what I mean. It kind of puts we are back.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? We're not going to let this same old Rangers thing happen again, where we always seem to have a slow start, slow winter break. Because it does sound like if you just try and gradually erase them out of the season, surely the title will come.
I've seen fans say on the winter break, obviously, Rangers go to I think we went to Dubai in January, and they're like, well, you go in there like for the winter break, it's hot.
Yeah.
And then you're coming back to cold Scotland. So the fans, the fans are like, we should not go on abroad. We should stay here and train.
No, it's a good point, because that is 2 very dramatic changes in climates, Dubai and Scotland. That is. Yeah.
Obviously, they're used to playing in Scotland, but when they come back,
it's just the whole getting used to it again.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that'll be a massive problem, because it's kind of it's like pre-season. That's fine, sure, but in the middle of a season, to go that far away in that heat and then to come back, like you said, to play in that weather, that does get time to adjusting again. So that is a little bit of a mistake. So I definitely understand that argument. But like I said, I feel like gradually, for me, in the next 2 to 3 years, I think Rangers would have won a league. Hopefully,
yeah.
Because it just, if you put all the pieces together and you gradually just keep having seasons like you are, where you getting decent points, decent finishes, then I feel like it'll definitely become, because eight premierships in a row. Surely one season they've got to just have a bit of a slow start at one of them. Surely.
Well, this has always been a problem. Like in the past, like we've had 9 in a row. They stopped us. They've had 9 in a row. We stopped them. So we cannot let them get 10 in a row.
Yeah. Oh God, It'd be funny though if you do win it next season. Say if they are giving it this season, it will be funny if you stop them that season.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because that'll be another thing they'll have on us.
Yeah, that'll be the worst. When
Even
your
though
rivals or something.
Rangers weren't there for about 4 or 5 of it, still.
That is true.
In a row, we've won 10 in a row.
Because you can kind of say, well, if the administration didn't happen,
you wouldn't have won 10 in a row.
Some of those titles might not have happened. Yeah, exactly. So it's a tough one, but if you're a Rangers fan and you're here, if you're a Celtic fan, and you're listening to this, just let us know who you think's going to win the title next year. I personally think Celtic will just edge it again, but I do feel like in the next 2 to 3 years, I think Rangers will pull through personally. Because the signs are there, the players are there, the manager's there. I feel like just a bit of extra investment maybe in a few certain areas. And I think you've got all the credentials for a title. I think.
I just think that we need, obviously a couple of Rangers fans probably won't agree on this one, but I feel like we need to get Morelos. I don't think he's consistent enough, and he's such a liability.
Yeah, well, from an outsider looking in, he does seem like a bit of a liability in terms of his red cards. That's just a first straight away. You look at that red card record and you go, that doesn't look very healthy. So that's just a start. And then you've got like, and then you look at the red cards and you go, well, how many games is he missing? And then you're like, oh, well, that's where Rangers are missing out on goals. And those goals could easily be replaced if you just have someone who plays every game instead of getting sent off.
That's what I mean. Like that's part of me thinking, but you can't replace 30 goals a season. But like, I've never known a striker to get sent off so regularly.
Either I've never seen it before. Like I just reading the figures. I'm like it seems like it's like once every like 2 or 3 games he's getting sent off.
That's what I mean. Like I love him. Like obviously. He's done so much for the club, but he's also like, some of the stuff that he does, there's just no need for it.
It's kind of almost getting to the point where if it keeps happening, it's becoming more just frustrating. It's annoying. Yeah. It's kind of like, he's like one of the best players, but he's actually getting on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah, like,
which is the worst part. People, if
like,
fans start
we're getting offered like what, like 20 million for him. Why not take it?
Because that's like
20 million is massive for Rangers.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a big amount of money.
That's like 2 big signings you can bring in, almost.
Yeah.
That could be huge. But I feel like, do you feel like maybe it's time to move on from him? Like he's done this, he's brought us this far. Maybe it's time for a change.
I don't know
because those red cards are seriously like a red light.
Yeah, because like, if he goes to the Premier League and starts doing that, Premier League boss will have that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm surprised he's lasted so long with the amount of red cards. So many clubs wouldn't have stood for that.
But that's what I mean for Rangers. Like, the amount of goals he scored, that's what's keeping him in this club.
Yeah, you cannot afford to get rid of that. Which is fair enough, because if he is scoring that many goals, you can't really say no to that.
And when he's scoring the goals, he's not getting red cards. But when, like I said, when he's having them frustrating games, he'll just lash out.
That must be annoying. You're like, oh yes, he's finally on a good bit of form, good consistency, and then you can see him having a bit of a poor game, and you're like, oh no, the red card's bound to happen. And as well, the bad thing about that is you'll have the opposition straight away going, annoy him, get on him, stay tight, kick him, he'll react.
Definitely.
Which he seems like a kind of, like, well, obviously from the red cards, but I mean, he seems like a person anyway who would kind of snap at that.
Yeah, but like I say, in the Celtic game, like I keep going back to it, but it's just a prime example. Like first half, like he was getting kicks, pushes, everything, and he just weren't reacting to it. Like, he's got this cool, and then last minute goes and does that, and you're like, what? Why?
Because I feel like if he used it, I feel like it could be an advantage. If he used that aggression in terms of replicating that and going, oh, you're annoying me, but I'm going to prove you wrong by scoring, instead of I'm going to react to you instead and get sent off. It's like the opposite. It's exactly what the opposition wants, getting sent off. But it's shutting them up by scoring is, the opposite.
Yeah, well, he has had some like decisions where like they're not very fair. Like he was on a yellow card, and I think we played. I can't remember now. I think it was Dundee, or it was a lower side, and he scored. But they've been giving him aggro all game and stuff like that. And then he scored, and he so they're like on one stand in the corner, and the Rangers fans are like in the other stand that's facing like on the right of it. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's hard to like the Rangers fans behind the goal, and he's like the side.
Oh, right, yeah. So it's the side of the goal. Yeah.
So he's like obviously the Rangers fan going mental behind the goal. Yeah. And then he's like looked at the Rangers fans like celebrating, and as he's walked off, he's like looked at them and shushed, and he got a yellow card for it and got sent off.
Now that is a bit unfair. Because
and you're like,
I feel like
they've been giving him aggro all game. He's allowed to do it.
Yeah, because
all he did was put his hand, like one of his fingers, to his lips. It's not a crime.
Do you almost feel like he's more likely to get sent off because of his record? So he's kind of like referees already are keeping an eye on him before the game's even started. Yeah,
like the referees, like some of the referees are just, you can tell they're just corrupt.
Yeah, because that should not have happened. That year second yellow. Because there's so many times when I've gone to like support my non-league side, like my local team who are in the National League, and it's proper like Sunday League stuff. The abuse and and when they score against us, they give shush and all that, and points to the ears, all that. It's kind of like it's kind of like that's part of football, man. It's like if the fans are gonna give it, you've got to expect some back when you get shut up. And as of now, that isn't a law where it's a yellow card. Maybe it should, because obviously that's aggravating the crowd, and that can lead to problems. Like I've seen, like when I've gone to that non-league side, there's been times where they've celebrated right in front of fans, and the fans have gone for them. Which I think
I think that's unfair on the players. I feel like it's unfair on the players, because if they can't, if the fans can give it and can't take it back, that's their own fault.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's probably the strongest argument you can give. The other side of it will be like, shouldn't the players be a little bit more professional? That's just me being devil's advocate. That's just me, coming up with being the opposite. I agree with what you're saying. I'm all for it. I think if you're getting it by the fans, give it them back for sure. But like you know that half of those fans have definitely had a drink or had a few, maybe a few too many. So the players doing that will just obviously make them react a lot worse, the fans. Yeah,
but if you think about it, like players can run up, like they're playing an away game, playing the rivals, and they've scored and they kissed the badge. That's a yellow card, isn't it? Because they're kissing the badge.
I don't know.
Like in front of the
away fans. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm with you. I'm all for the players giving it back. Yes, it hurts a lot when it's the opposition doing it to you, and it's great when it's your team doing it to them.
Yeah.
But I can see both arguments, but I'm definitely on your side on that one. I feel like, especially for the Morelos one, I feel like that was incredibly unfair. I feel
it was. Go on.
I just think because it was him, I think that was more of a reason why he gave that yellow card. I might be wrong, but I feel like if that was any other player who did it, I don't think they would have got sent off.
Maybe a yellow card if it's his first yellow card, but I think it's a bit harsh to give him a second yellow.
Completely agree. To say if that was like I feel like that's kind of, give him a yellow if it's his first yellow. If it's his second yellow, give him just a warning.
Yeah, just say don't do it.
Just say don't do that again. And then if he disagrees or says something back or does it again, then you send him off. But to give him a straight, second yellow, seems a little unfair.
But then it just made him look like a complete muppet, because he's just done that and then got himself sent off.
Yeah, and then that makes you as like a fan a little bit like a muppet in a way.
Yeah, like, and then
because you would have gone like, oh yeah, Morelos is this, you know, he's such a good player. He scored this goal.
yeah, yeah, and then you get all them fans in the corner that were giving him mad goal like, wee.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, but you know that's part of football, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously we don't have a Celtic fan on here because I feel like, you know, it'd be a bit fairer because we'll have a Rangers fan. But,
Yeah.
Overall, after this season, do you think Celtic do deserve it this season? As hard as that would be for you to say, do you think if you look overall, you look at Rangers' performances, their consistency, Celtic, do you think, you know what, this season we will give it them? I know that's a really hard question to answer when you're a Celtic fan, but
I feel like if you're saying they deserve it because of like the consistency, then yeah, like their consistency's been better than any other team. But like in terms of like the football that's been played, I don't think so.
I actually think Rangers played better football. Do you think maybe
Yeah,
the way Rangers play this season has led to that lack of consistency? Because I feel like you play quite an open game, like quite, you know, free flowing.
Yeah.
Sometimes that goes against you. Or like Celtic, they're very defensively solid. They're kind of like defence first, then attack.
Yeah.
So I feel.
But it's helped them obviously, like them winning the league for eight times in a row. It's giving them more and more.
It's giving them more drive, isn't it? It's like, let's make it 9 in a row. Let's make it 10 in a row. You know, and that'll just keep going.
That's what I mean. And they're getting in the Champions League near enough every season. Obviously, getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Going to Europa League, but Champions League money is still a decent
100% the money. And I feel like if Rangers get Champions League, then that'd be like the biggest, like, pro of it. The money.
Yeah. Well, I think Rangers got about 15 mil, I think, off Europa League this season.
And I don't know the stats. I'm not gonna. I could do, but I feel like the jump from Europa League money to the Champions League money, I feel like would be quite big.
Yeah,
so I feel like to make that step. But I feel like from when I've watched Celtic and I've watched Rangers, I just feel like Celtic are just a little bit more prolific. Just a little bit more, you know, on it.
They've got that killer instinct that Rangers don't have.
I think if Celtic did have, I think Rangers would definitely be just above. I just feel like I'm watching Rangers and I'm like, oh, they just that last pass or that last finish. If that was just a bit better, so many more points you could have gained from certain league games.
And like, I know what you mean by that, because you can watch Rangers and it'll be like, oh, just past the post, but you can watch Celtic and it hits the post and goes in.
Yeah.
Just like, you can say, oh, they're lucky, but like the way they're so ruthless in front of goal, you understand why they win games.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I always saw Celtic when I didn't know much about the league as, oh, they're the best, you know, they always win. But I kind of look more in. I've obviously watched more games and I'm like, you know what? It's just they're not just the best. Sometimes they're not. They're awful on some days, and they still get through it. I don't know who they played. It was one of the last games before the break. It might have been Aberdeen, who were third.
Oh, Aberdeen always lie down to him. Aberdeen literally.
I think it was when they played them away and they won 2-1. I was messaging you during the game because I was watching it, and I went, "Oh, Aberdeen, they're gonna," you know, it was 1-1. I was like, Aberdeen are gonna win this. And then out of absolutely nothing. Literally, they've been, you know, Celtic have been battered the whole game. They hadn't had much of the ball. They hadn't had many shots. 80th minute, something like that. One little attack. Their centre half puts it top corner. I was like,
I remember. You know what it was? You messaged me saying, "Oh, it's 1-1. Aberdeen are battering them," and I came down here at half time and I was watching it.
Yeah.
And then when that went in, I just went typical Celtic.
Yeah, I was like, but then I was thinking, you know what? That's what wins you titles. Those games against those teams where they have been all over you, but you've just somehow, in some way, no matter how you've done it, you've got the 3 points. And if Rangers starts becoming that kind of team where you play bad but you pick up the 3 points, I feel like that'll make such a big difference in terms of getting above Celtic.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there must have been games where you've drew, maybe, and you've like, we should have just got that one goal to give us the winner.
Yeah.
And they're the
Yeah.
most frustrating. I don't feel like losses are the most frustrating sometimes. I feel like it's the draws.
Yeah, because some draws feel like a loss.
Yeah, because it's like a loss. If you get beat, fine. You can accept that. But when you draw and you know you should have won and picked up those extra 2 points, I feel like that's just hurts a little bit more.
Yeah, like
Sometimes.
if I'm talking about that, like if it's after the game and I'm talking about it, I always refer to it as a, like, I'll say
Yeah.
it by accident because I feel like it is a loss.
Like mentally, you're
Yeah.
like, that is deflating. It feels like a loss.
Yeah, so like say like when I'm at City and we draw, but like we should have beaten. I'll be walking home to the car, like I'll be walking to the car to go home, and I'll be like, I can't believe we just lost that game. And my brother will just go, we drew. I'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that like mental side it has a draw. It's like it just depending on what the team you are, it just feels like a loss. You're just like
Yeah.
how, and then you've got teams obviously lower down and where draws are kind of like wins. They go, oh, that feels like a win. That kind of like
Yeah.
the polar opposite. So, but for Rangers, those draws, and for City, those draws obviously feel more like losses. I'm just gonna go through the season in terms of the league record. Obviously played 30 games so far. I think Rangers played 29. If that should be correct because you had a game in hand, didn't you?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. So Celtic won 26. They drew 2 and lost 2. And then you compare that to Rangers won 21. 5. That's 15 points difference. 4 draws and 4 losses. You can definitely get from that Rangers have just had a blip somewhere. That's what I get from that straight away. That doesn't seem like over the season you've picked up those draws and losses. I feel like that's kind of come in chunks. One at the start of the season, one kind of mid-season. I don't know if that's right, but that's what it feels like to me anyway.
Like I said, after the winter break.
Yeah, is that where most of them were picked up, those draws and losses?
Yeah, I think we lost 2 there.
Yeah, and that's half your losses straight away.
That's what I mean. I think we lost 2 in just after the winter break to Hearts and maybe Aberdeen.
And just to put that into context, Hearts are bottom of the league.
Yeah.
And Aberdeen.
They are now, but they were at the time as well.
Oh yeah. Oh right, yeah. And then Aberdeen are on the upper half of the table.
Yeah, and then I think we drew Kilmarnock maybe, and I think we drew to Hamilton.
Yeah,
I'm not quite.
All these teams that you're dropping points to, other than Aberdeen, are on that bottom half of the table, and that kind of what makes it a lot more frustrating. Because you look on paper and you go, we've got to beat these surely, and then you get beat or you draw and you go, how are we getting beat to say bottom of the league or someone in like the bottom 3? I feel like that's the most frustrating games. Because say if you get beat to like an Aberdeen, sometimes you can't complain too much because they are one of the better teams, if you put it like that. But then when you're dropping points to teams like Hearts and Hamilton and Kilmarnock, that must be a real a big kick in the teeth.
Well,
those
for Hearts, for Hearts, like when we got beat against Hearts, it was Stephen Naismith that scored against us.
Oh, former Rangers player.
Yeah, and that was hurtful.
Yeah, 100%.
To see him score against us, obviously, like that's for any team, but to get beat to him.
Yeah, it's not even a draw. Beat.
No
points from it. That must have been so frustrating, I can imagine. I know this is kind of moulded into a Rangers episode, which is fine because we have a Rangers fan, so it makes sense. But I'm just going to try. I want to talk about the Champions League in terms of Celtic, but I want to talk about Rangers in the Champions League maybe in the future. For Celtic, they're always in the Champions League, and I always see them like become bottom of the table. Do you think they just don't have the quality? Or do you think maybe just on the European stage they just don't turn up?
Yeah, I feel like the European stage is too big for them at the minute. Obviously, like Rangers are in the Europa League, so it's not as big as the Champions.
Yeah, of course.
For the Champions League, I feel like that's too big for Celtic.
Yeah.
Not in the past, in the past when like Larson and.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that team was just incredible. Like obviously, Champions League would have suited them better.
Yeah.
But like right now,
Yeah.
I just don't feel like they weren't even performing in Europa League. Like, what makes you think they're going to perform in the Champions League?
Exactly. Like that home game against Copenhagen, that was seriously embarrassing. That second leg, you 1-1, you've got an away goal, and to get beat, I think 3-1 at home, and you're supposed to be one of these big sides, and you got these Celtic fans saying, "Oh, in the Prem we'd finish top 4, top 6." It's like, firstly, just calm down and actually like look at your team, compare them to the Premier League teams, and actually look at what you're doing in Europe. Because in Europe, teams like, because I feel like Celtic fans, what they're saying is like they finish like top 6, can top 8. I feel like teams like in our top 8, you know, like Sheffield United, Wolves, all them.
Yeah.
I feel like in the Champions League, they'd actually give it a right good go. But But then you look at Celtic and they're always 4th. And then they're getting knocked out in the Europa League. And they never really do too well in the Europa League, do they, in the recent seasons anyway, that I've seen.
And I feel like it's quite embarrassing for Celtic to like not get as far as Rangers. Rangers have got further than Celtic this year.
Yeah, do you feel like that's kind of maybe a turn that's starting to happen, where Rangers are starting to just slowly build higher than Celtic?
Well, we've all noticed a turn. Like obviously, in the past, I think it was about past 5 old firms. I think we've won 3 of them. I think.
You know what? I can tell you right now. I will just recap the last 5 Old Firm derbies. The last one was the 2-1 Rangers.
Yeah.
29th of December. In the 8th of December, Celtic got a 1-0 win.
Yeah, that was cup final.
Yeah. On the 1st of September, in fact, Celtic won again 2-0. And then Rangers won the one before that 2-0 at home. I remember watching that game. That was a good game. Rangers deserved winners. And then Celtic won again that one after. 2-1.
And then after that, Rangers won again, didn't they?
So it would have been 3-3.
Yes, 3-3 in the last 6. So that's already a turn.
So yeah, that's just the gradual beginning, you know, to turn. Yeah, I feel like with Celtic, I just look at them and I go, like they're supposed to be like, at the minute, obviously I think this will change, but they're kind of like representing Scottish football in Europe, because they're more well known of a team at the minute, because obviously what happened with Rangers, and they're starting to get a name for themselves again in Europe. Like Celtic are representing Scottish football and they're not doing too good of a job. Because like people like who support Premier League teams, we look at Celtic and they say, "Oh, this like we'll finish this in the Prem," and we kind of just laugh it off and go, "You haven't shown us that you could do that. Like, show us, and then we might believe you." But they it seems like they just don't show it enough in the big stage in those European games.
I feel like Celtic, if they was in the Prem, they'd probably finish bottom 10.
Would you? Bottom half of the table?
Yeah, definitely.
Personally, from the team they have, I think they would just be mid-table, I think. You know, kind of like the 9th to the maybe 13th, kind of that bracket. But, you know, Celtic, I think they just need to... As soon as they start proving themselves, maybe not in the Champions League, but just even in the Europa League, I think if they start proving themselves in that, I feel like they'll gain a bit more respect from clubs in England, because they're not really liked anyway. But, you know, there's no way they're gaining respect to the fans if they can't even beat Copenhagen. And if you're supposedly that good, then you should be beating them realistically. If you're looking at Celtic,
I feel like in the UK, like I might just be feeling this because I'm a Rangers fan, but I feel like they're one of the most hated clubs in the UK.
Yeah, definitely. I remember.
I don't know if I'm being biased there by saying that.
No,
but
no. I think that's a kind of a feeling between a lot of fans. Cause do you remember when City played them? In the Champions League. Yeah,
I went to that with my dad.
Yeah,
and my dad was fuming.
Yeah, Celtic weren't very nice.
Yeah, my dad was fuming because obviously my dad's a massive Rangers fan.
Oh yeah.
He won't see any Celtic fans in the whole end, but they literally took over the stadium.
Yeah.
And my dad's never been to City after that. He was like, that's a disgrace.
Yeah. Like you kind of look at away teams and you go, I'd rather not go to that game because they're kind of like that. That's kind of like with Celtic. It's kind of like they're dangerous, which isn't what you want at all. Yeah, which isn't great.
That can be with Rangers fans as well, mate. Like, you just don't care. Scottish people are mental.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke.
Yeah, no, I didn't really want to say it, but sometimes it can be a little bit crazy. Well, from what I've heard in terms of like away fights and all
Yeah.
that, I've seen them and I'm like, these are crazy
Yeah, well,
people, man.
that
Like
happened
the
in
way they're
Sunderland
fighting.
when Celtic went to Sunderland.
Yeah, that was in a pre-season, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
not long ago, because
That's what I mean.
that was on the
That's a
documentary, wasn't it?
pre-season match. That's a pre-season match. That's a friendly.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. That's You're not gaining anything from that. That's probably just to gain players' fitness. And
That's what I
then
mean.
that happened. It's kind of like, But take that away, they're both Rangers and Celtic are both massive clubs.
Yeah.
Very big futures, I think, for both teams. I feel like the next 5 to 10 years will be really close between the two. So I'm looking forward to see how both teams grow. How maybe some might fall, some might rise. We'll just have to see. Just to end off, because we're just coming up to an hour, and I don't like to go more than an hour sometimes, because you want to keep it kind of short. When do you think Rangers will win their next league? Do you think it can be next season, or do you think maybe it might be a bit longer than that?
Hopefully next season or the season after.
If it's not, then do you think it might be a longer process?
If it's not, then we've got to have we've got to clear out again. Something's clearly going right.
Because
something's going to have to.
100%. Because if you're not winning it, because it seems like it's going well now. So in the next 1 or 2 years, you should be really winning it. 3 years in a push. And if you don't win it, you kind of got to look at the team and go, oh, we might have to kind of rethink what we're doing here, because obviously something isn't going right.
I feel like in the next 2 or 3 years, if Gerrard haven't done anything, I think he might be getting sacked.
And he might look at it and go, I can't do any more. He might just look at it like that. He's like, I've done everything I can. Because I've got it here. He's managed them 114 times. He's won 68, drew 28, lost 18, which is quite an impressive record.
Yeah, that's not bad, though.
And then the fact that he's still not winning anything. His contract does expire, though, in 2024. So I think he'll stick that out, if I'm going to be honest. So he's already had 688 days in charge. That's like 2 years coming up. So I think he'll see that out. I feel like in those 4 years, he has to win a league.
Yeah, definitely.
But
because I feel like if Gerrard doesn't win any, failure.
Yeah. In a way, yeah.
Even though he's Liverpool through and through, and Liverpool will stand by him and stuff like that, I don't think that Liverpool will accept him. If he's gone to the Scottish Premiership, right, he's built a team that's good enough to win the Scottish Premiership, and he's not getting that team right, that's something seriously wrong.
Yeah, but also you got to remember as well that Liverpool, he will get all the funding he wants, and he will be able to build the team he wants. So you kind of look at it like that as well.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like with all this money he's got coming in now with the Europa League and like the league, obviously.
Yeah.
Like he's got money. He doesn't need to build a wonder team to win this Scottish Premiership, does he? He just needs a few good players.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a wonder team.
Yeah, I agree. I think
he needs players that can play football and that's going to be consistent.
Yeah. That is true, because I feel like some of the signings he has made, I think they've been very good. I've just listed some of his more his better signings, the ones that people will know more of. Obviously Ryan Kent, Hadji. I think Stephen Davis. He impresses me when I see him play. Kind of like that experience. I know sometimes he has a few off games, but that Joe Aribo, I really like him when he's on his game. I think he's a really good player. He brought him in. George, what was it, Edmondson? I think that's how you say it.
Oh yeah, he's very good.
I think like futuristically, he'll be a fantastic player.
Like this is his first season. He didn't really get a chance to play, but like recently,
he was just breaking in, wasn't he?
He was coming in more, and he actually scored. I can't remember.
Leverkusen. He scored the header.
Oh yeah. I was at yours for that one.
Yeah, because that was unfortunate. Because he gave away the penalty, didn't he, for that? And that was just one of those unfortunate handballs, where they don't really know where the ball is, and stupid UEFA VAR sometimes.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get a fantastic next 5 years of Scottish football where it's just Rangers and Celtic just locking horns and really going at it.
Neck and neck.
Hopefully we'll get some really good Old Firm derbies when this pandemic is finally over. We are going to end it here. I want to say thank you to Kenzie for chatting today, enlightening me on Scottish football and what it means. So I want to say thank you to you for that. I've really enjoyed it.
Right.
Every now and then we will be doing these kind of one-off episodes where I'm only with one person and we discuss like certain things. Not sure how often they'll happen, but they definitely will, because I've enjoyed this one a lot. Opened my eyes to a lot of information. So I'm glad it's done it. I'm glad I've done it. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, do all that, notifications on so you don't miss any other podcasts. This should be out Sunday. We're recording this on the 22nd, so the Sunday will be the 26th. So on the 28th is the Tuesday. That should be when the next podcast is out. I'm not sure what the topic will be yet, but obviously I'll come up with one. But I just want to say thanks for watching. If you've got any ideas for these kind of episodes where I just sit with one person and we have a chat about it, let me know. Comment them now and I'll definitely respond. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Tuesday for the next podcast.